This here will be my last video before I go on summer break. I'm taking about 1.5 months off YouTube, gonna try and stay offline, and I've talked about it extensively in another video. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it. So I thought we'd end off with checking out my summer synth setup. So here we have a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna bring with me on vacation, because even though I'm gonna take a break from YouTube and try and stay offline as much as possible, I think that's a good thing. I think you need that too sometimes. And even though I'm not gonna do YouTube, I still wanna make some music, and there's also some pieces of gear that I wanna explore some more. So let me show you here what I got packed up here. So in this little case here, I have my utility stuff. So here we have a bunch of different things. So here we have a pair of headphones, the Sennheiser's HD300. I'm basically bringing them with me because they're small enough to fit and they sound good enough to do some light mixing on, and they're closed back so I don't get disturbed by my family. I also have a trusted SM58 microphone. You could kill a zombie with it. I really like it. It sounds also good enough, like it's nothing fancy. Anybody who's used it knows that it can sound pretty good on some voices. It's just a very practical, all-around good microphone to bring with you, especially when recording in less than ideal surroundings. Then I have, of course, a trusted Anker battery. If you want to do something portable with synths, if you want to power synths with the MyVolts power connection kits, these Anker batteries are actually very reliable. So, and over in this case here, I have a MIDI keyboard, because you of course need a MIDI keyboard with you wherever you go. This is the M32 Midi Keyboard from Native Instruments. I've talked about it in a bunch of different videos, recommended it. It's just a very solid, small form factor MIDI keyboard. I like it because it integrates really well with the next piece of tech that I'm gonna bring with me. So let me show you here. So the centerpiece of my little summer synth setup here is actually it's the Maschine Plus. So of course I'm gonna bring this with me. This has been something that I've been enjoying a lot in private. So the Maschine Plus is the Groovebox that I'm taking with me on this vacation. I can basically make full songs from scratch on it, or just jam and have fun with it. I can sample into it, all the good stuff. I really recommend it. If you feel like it's worth the money for you, you can check out my other video on it and other reviews. But it's very solid and I've been enjoying it a lot. Now for the last piece of kit that I'm bringing with me, it's not exactly like a portable setup. I'm not going to go camping with this stuff, but I am going to bring it to my cabin. Here we have one of my top 3 synths, the Pulsar 23. Pulsar 23 is this monstrosity. It's like built like a tank, it's heavy, it's anything but like a portable summer synth setup. And the Pulsar 23 is like its own little groove machine. It has its own built-in sequencer. I'm not a big fan of that sequencer. I don't like it a lot. I prefer sequencing it from an external source. So of course, somewhere here, I think I have a MIDI cable, just hook up a MIDI cable and then you're good to go. And you of course have a ton of patch cables here. I even brought a manual so I could be reading up on it, because that's something I love to do during the summer as well. Just reading up on synths, sitting down with them in a more relaxed fashion, just having a good time with them. And I really wanted to explore this even more. It's one of my most used synths, but I still feel like I'm always scratching the surface. So I think what draws me to the Pulsar 23 is simply that it sounds very interesting and you can get some unique sounds out of it. So when you sit down with it, it doesn't necessarily sound all that amazing, but once you start tweaking, you find these sweet spots, and there's so many of them. It's just a really well thought out instrument in its own kind of chaotic and weird way. And yeah, for some people, I think this is an amazing instrument, and for some people I think maybe it's wasted money. So really think before you buy, but for some of you it might be interesting. You can actually power it using these MyVolt cables. I've talked about them before. You need a good, listen up, you need a good USB battery bank to power using these. Don't buy some budget one. Use the Anchor ones, they're pretty good. But I've actually successfully powered it using a MyVolts cable. The same goes for the Maschine Plus, that I can also power using a MyVolts cable, and it's been working well. So that's the last video before I go on my summer break. But do not forget that we are doing the Summer of Synths event. So every Monday at 6 p.m. Swedish time, that's noon New York time, we are releasing a video here on my channel made by somebody else, another YouTube creator. So I gave them a bit of a budget, we worked together on a script idea, and they produced a video for you. Something that I thought would be interesting, something that would mean that you learn something new, something that I couldn't teach, and hopefully you will find all of that super exciting and interesting and support that initiative. So yeah, that's coming up. I'm heading off. Hope you all have a great summer. And if you're concerned about my health and stuff like that, it's all getting better. I'm taking care of myself. I'm trying at least. I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm trying. So thank you all for the support, and I wish you a great summer. Together